Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. We are here on the Mon Ultimate once again for another 75-minute race, this time around the wonderful Circuit de la Sarthe. Don't worry, in the background you're just hearing other people drive around, just so there's something to listen to before we get started for qualifying, which is coming up very soon, in fact. Should be starting any moment now. So let's get into this. Welcome, Iris. Good to see you. It's been a little while. It has been. So glad to have you back. We are just waiting. That's not ideal. Oh, we get 75 litres at Le Mans. Nice. Instead of the 63 we get like everywhere else. As such, I am going to put 30 litres in, because that's about half a tank. I don't feel like it's worth sort of min-maxing fuel for qualifying, because we're pretty much going to run the whole session. It's 15 minutes, which is generally quite long, but around a track like Le Mans where you've got lap times, where are we aiming for? 3:38? You know, you're not going to get as many laps in as you would at other places. So, yeah, practice just coming to a close. Waiting for the session to take over. Work schedule and stream schedule hasn't worked out. That happens. No worries. Just glad to have you back. Yeah, this isn't looking promising. There we go. And it is a private qualifying session, so we don't need to worry about anyone else being around us. But yeah, nice thing is you don't really have to compromise any laps here for warming tires up. Lap is that long that you'll have the tires warmed up by the time you get back to the start-finish straight, but of course you don't get that many attempts. Track limits somewhat easy to trigger around this lap. There are definitely a few places, one of which is quite early on in the lap here. Will come up on very shortly, already a minute into the session. But this is one of them, Tête Rouge. Very important corner as it leads on to the start of the Mulsanne Straight. But yeah, very easy to run wide there. But yeah, today, another 75-minute race like what we had at Interlagos. Again, we're in the LMP2 class. We've got Hypercars and GT3s. But well, it's the same community we're racing in, so generally you'll see a lot of familiar names across the field. The names that we're seeing in LMP2 are quite different from what we've seen. So the two main people we were actually fighting on Monday aren't in the LMP2 class today. Either they're not racing or they're in different classes. And so we've got some other names to look out for. How quick they'll be, we do not know. We'll have to find out at the end of qualifying and in the race as we make our way down the Mulsanne. Very long, very boring. Thankfully, some chicanes to give us something to do during it. But yeah, not the most interesting bit of track in the world. Car got a little squirrely there, hitting the brakes. Don't mind running deep into a corner on the out lap, of course. Just want to make sure we don't lock the tires up and damage them before we even get onto a flying lap. Now we're coming up to one of probably the most difficult corner of the track, Indianapolis, fast right-hander. You've got a brake for the left-hander, immediately following. You can carry a lot more speed through here, but you're really limited by setting up the left-hander here, making sure that you're able to brake without spinning the car off or unsettling it too much. Then the tight right-hander here of an Orange. Very easy to overdrive the corner with how tight it is. Of course, when you're at the late stage of the braking zone, you've scrubbed a lot of speed off, so there's very little downforce. Not much grip, so you have to be careful on the brakes. Very easy to just overdo it and lock a tire and throw away a lot of time. Then we get to probably the best bit of them on, the Porsche curves. Well, they're not all the Porsche curves, they all have like different names, but they're just generally known as the Porsche curves. Fantastic section. Easily the best section of the circuit to the south. Go be careful of track limits at the end. Yeah, go be very brave in the race if you want to make passes past the GT3 cars there. That will get quite interesting. And then we get to the Ford chicane, not the most interesting part of the track, but a very important part. Quite easy to make a mistake, easy to overdrive it, but starts what will be our first flying lap. Of course, Le Mans hosted the French GP for MotoGP today. That was a very interesting race, so it was. Watched that earlier on. We're a little bit deep into the Dunlop chicane. Well, certainly the first apex compromised us slightly, but it's a long lap, a lot of corners to come. Clip in one of the cones there as we try and just take the shortest track length possible. Then Tetra Rouge. That might, yeah, that's wide. We were maybe a little wide of the apex of where we'd want to be. Just around wide enough to get track limits on the exit. But no worries, this will sort of serve as a second practice lap. Tire wear, despite the long lap, really is with the long straights. Very little tire wear at Le Mans, so we probably won't be changing tyres this race. And we should get a few good attempts at qualifying. Tyres should definitely easily last the full 50-minute quali session. Track temp quite high, 39 degrees at the moment, but despite that the tyres not quite getting up to the temperatures that we'd really want to see them at, mainly due to these straights. We also want to make sure we don't make a mistake that sort of spins us off. Not only will it hurt the tyres, but it could slow us down enough to not get a final lap in. Which if we threw a couple of laps away for track limits, like what we did with this first flying lap, it will be a bit detrimental. Of course, we won't make sure we get one clean lap in to start in front of the GT3s. Even if it's not the most competitive, something is better than nothing. A little wide for the apex there. Of course, this lap itself doesn't matter, but still good practice for the remaining laps. Get the apex on the left hand side. Car definitely has a little more front end on this lap compared to our right lap. And that really does get tires, especially the front left, up to temperature. Oh my god. Ooh. That's odd. I got a little screen freeze and then I got a little bit of a slide. This isn't going to be a great start to this next lap. That's nearly an extra lap of tyre wear added just from that mistake. Actually got to the apex there, but maybe a little bit deep, compromised the line slightly through the second part of the Dunlop chicane. Turned in much earlier there. Much more on apex, and we're apparently 0.4 up on our last lap. So despite the little spin, it's been a better start to this lap. You can see sometimes coming in, 3 times on the board at the moment. We can't quite see second place with how our positions have been sorted before coming into the session. Right through the first chicane. Felt like a good first chicane. Now, second chicane can be a bit braver on the brakes into this one. Maybe could have been a little bit more aggressive on the throttle on the exit, but didn't want to risk it. Already 10 minutes into this qualifying session. Ooh, it's going to be close if we get 1 or 2 more laps. I'd like 2 more, but we may not have that luxury. Fastest middle sector, apparently. But then this final sector is a pretty long sector. No, we're definitely not getting another 2 more laps. It's only going to be 1 more. Maybe could have been a bit more aggressive on the brakes there, but again, just wanted to take it safe. This is one of the tracks with how long it is. It can be difficult to maximize the potential that you have. Easily find yourself, okay, right, you find time in one part of the lap, but you lose it in another. Next lap, it's the other, sort of opposites of where you gain and where you lose it. I don't feel the most comfortable through the Porsche curves. Not losing the rear end this time. Up to line, it's not going to be provisional pull, we'll be 1.4 seconds off. But we definitely have time to find actually worse exit out of the chicane than what we had last lap, despite the spin. Didn't quite get the turn in for the second part of the chicane I wanted, but was still quicker on the exit. Also, gotta be careful not to cut the corner. That wasn't as clean through Tetra Rouge, and as such, it has cost us a bit of time. Someone's done a 3:37.1. I was braver on the brakes since that first chicane, but I was a little bit wide of the left-hand apex. Cost a bit of time. By a tenth and a half up. I completely missed the braking zone there. This and next? That's really harsh. For this part of the lap in the middle sector, if I do that in the race, I definitely have to slow down for the chicane a bit more than I did. I looked up at what I thought was the 200 board. I was like, right, brake in a moment, and then it's like, wait, hang on, that's 100. Gained about 3.5 tenths there through Indianapolis and Arnage. We'll practice pit entry here. Yeah, that's better. Gained, what, 2 tenths? Don't know if that lap would have been good enough. Okay, that's too late on the brakes. Just about got slowed down for that part of the chicane. A little safe. A little safe. Then our pit box is a bit on the early side than what I would have liked. Oh well, can't do anything about that. Now we just have to watch. Let's see, who is on our... Let's switch this LP2, since they're still yet to set a time. And while we watch this LP2, I'm just going to take a little moment and we'll be back before the start of the race.
teams and drivers go to the grid for a race start.
So, mistake there at the end, but they didn't invalidate their lap, so they kept the position. We've got one LMP2 starting from the back, one Hypercar starting from last. They'll have to get through 15 GT3s, and then there will be technically 8. But at that point, the Hypercar should get the P2 off the line. There'll be 7 LMP2s to get through. Of course, could see mistakes. 3 manufacturers, top 3. Ferrari, Porsche, Alpine leading the way in Hypercars. 2 BMWs on the front have Ford, Ferrari for GT3. So a bit of variety. Track up to 43 degrees for the race here. So we'll put in a full tank of fuel. I think we'll be able to get to the halfway mark on fuel with the extra fuel tank that we get for Le Mans. But yeah, also the driver that was in P2 just left the race for some reason. So we are starting P2 in the class. I doubt with the gap in qualifying, we'll be able to match the leader. I think this will just be about taking home T2. Yeah, P2 within class. No parachute, it doesn't look like it. Unfortunately, because it's on numbers in the classes, the lead LMP2 starts a row ahead of us, and we've got P3 alongside us. Just getting warmth into the brakes, help the tires. Help with tire temperature. Hopefully we don't start in the chicane.
Green flag, green flag.
We were just kind of on the exit. There go the Hypercars. Really backing up. Fortunately, we were just sort of being cautious. Car went round our outside. How many track points do we get? 6 points through the race? Okay, don't have to worry too much about that. Not ideal to get so much. By kind of then extending the exit as well as the apex a little bit. Very late on the brakes for the car in front. Got a little sideways. Not the best exit there. Looks like the LP car that started from the back has had issues because they've dropped off the tail end of the field. They're not even past any GT3s. Getting in our way a little bit there. And got an illegal overtake on the LMP2. Because they tried to overtake it on the inside of the chicane. Very early on the brakes for the car in front. We may also need to lift and coast a little bit. But if the top right is to be believed, which the relative is also sort of agreeing with, then we should be fine. Still waiting for the tires to come in properly. The car still feels a little bit understeery. We do have a couple of hypercars catching up to us, but it's going to be very difficult for them to pass in the Porsche curves. Close battle here for P2, like there's Porsche coming through. Nearly got caught up with the LMP2 behind. Late lock up in the corner there. That might be a little bit of a cut. It was a very squirrely for the LP2. Go again alongside. And we're gonna get in front. But now we're gonna be dishing out the slipstream. Leader already 6 seconds up the road. Oh, the car just sort of topside beforehand. And they lift. They didn't want to fight it. We got a good exit out of the second chicane there. It's given us a bit of a gap. And we've got now 2 hypercars coming through. Is the Lambo going to go for a move on the Porsche? Now backside of it. Another little track limiting was just too much curb. Another hypercar. I don't know where they're going. And the last pace prototype has gone into the pits. Fourth place has dropped back, so it has. That's a hypercar off. That's the Lamborghini that passed us on the Mulsanne. 5 a lap, I think, is going to be our fuel number when it comes to calculating how much fuel we need in the pits. Yellow flag out for car behind. Ooh, that car upset the car. So we have that Lamborghini closing back in again. Oh, and yeah, that car that was following us is DNF'd now. Don't know what happened to them. I certainly didn't see in the rearview mirror. But that's a shame for them. Lambo should catch us on the run to Indianapolis. They're not close enough to get us into Mulsanne Corner. Someone's kicked up some gravel here at Mulsanne Corner. Lambo. Lambo a bit wide there through an arch. Sure if the car behind, the 183, is catching up at all. I feel like that gap has closed in a few tenths. That's understeer. Definitely closed in like half a second through the Porsche curves. Oh, and they've spun at the chicane. I'm pretty sure that's... yeah, that is the car we were watching during qualifying that spun through there. Now they've done it again in the race. Seems like no one wants to be P3 and trying to catch us up. It's risky running that wide. Ooh, they've pitted as well as another car. It's too early to be pitting. You won't make it to the end from here. inside the second chicane there. Leading LMP2 made a mistake because we've closed up like 3 seconds. They had a 9-second gap starting this lap. It's down to about 6. Car behind was 1.5 seconds quicker than us last lap. And we're half a second slower than we were last lap. So it does look like they will be able to catch us. But we'll have to see how this plays out. Made up a bit of time at Indianapolis this lap. Only 400s down. Let's see if we can have a better Porsche cars. That a little too much. "15 minutes in, 4 laps in. The only other unfortunate thing with Le Mans is the lap is so long, it takes like forever for the classes to diverge on each other. Or to catch each other up. Oh, another one of the cars, one of the two that pitted a couple of laps ago has DNF'd. Corner wasn't as good. But yeah, the car behind is definitely catching us up fairly quickly. Might even be next lap that they're on our tail end. Bit of a lockup carried into Indianapolis. Much better. Much quicker, at least. Yeah, the track might be like too hot. The tires are struggling for grip. Catching up to the last place hypercar, or LP2 car. Slow down the inside, didn't think I was close enough to get a move there, but they seem to sort of lift quite early. That felt a little harsh. Car behind still 8 times quicker last lap. Car in front 2.5 seconds quicker. I think with the higher temperatures, the front left is actually getting battered much more than I expected it to. Might be worth considering a tire change. Then the question is, what other tire do you change? Do you change the front tire to keep good front end, or do you change the left-hand side to not like disrupt the balance of the car? Little front left lock up, or front right, sorry. Optimal temperature for the tires, if you didn't see in the pit menu, is 86 degrees Celsius. So you can see all the tires, the perfect front left are running just under it. The front left is running a little bit above it. Down to 88, but still a little bit over optimal as we enter the Porsche curves. Unsettled the car a little bit with how much it threw it into the left-hander there. You can see up to nearly 100 degrees Celsius. Yeah, gained about 10 degrees Celsius through 2 right-handers pretty much, but they're long, quick right-handers. And this first part of the lap isn't much kinder. You've got turn 1, right-hander for the first braking zone. That little right-hander as we come off the Bugatti circuit isn't going to help. This right-hander here too, and then Tetra Rouge. Keeps it up near that 100 degrees. And the car behind has got us in slipstream. Will they go for the move here, or will they wait? They thought about it, but they don't want to risk it on the brakes. We got a good exit, so we might be able to hold on for a little bit longer here. Actually, it won't be too long before we start catching the straggly GT3s. Yeah, the car behind. Not as close into this braking zone. Mustang corner. Car behind closed in a little bit still. Didn't get much of a better exit. So whether they're close enough to make a move before Indianapolis, don't know. They're closing with the slipstream, but they're not going to be close enough. Our first GT3 going into the Porsche curves. We should catch it just after. Look how much more confident, how much more speed car behind is able to carry. That's just a little uncertain there, how much speed I can carry through with the GT3. Not a great run through the chicane. Good exit for the Dunlop chicane, even if we weren't the quickest through it. Carpine got a good run through Tendre Rouge. Trying to nab a little bit of slipstream off the GT3. They're going to be past us before the braking zone. Sort of matched the exit of the car in front. Do we have the straight line speed though? No, they're pulling away from us, even with the slipstream. Yeah, we're not closing. I guess this setup has more wing angle. Running the CDA setup, by the way, that's provided in-game, has a wing angle of 4. Deep for the car in front allows us to close back in a little bit, but straight line speed advantage means doesn't matter. I'm surprised they didn't catch up to us as much last lap. Like, they caught up into the first chicane, but then the second chicane, Mulsanne corner, Indianapolis, they didn't really close in much at all. Like, they feel faster now when I've got the slipstream than they did when they had the slipstream. A little bit deep with the locking. This is going to be tight with the Porsche GT3 there. Neither of us are going to catch before. But we'll both pass on the outside of the first right-hander. They ran a bit wide, they'll pick up a track limit for that. Race run through the chicane again. Keeping it within track limits there, even if it wasn't the quickest. But yeah, we're going to follow any slipstream here. Not unless another GT3 helped us by just being in the wrong place at the wrong time for the LMP2 in front of us. But with how long these straights are, that's very unlikely, and it's not going to happen. Hopefully we can catch the Porsche here. Yeah, we should catch it just before the second chicane. We'll get as much slipstream as we can from it. Closed in a little bit there through the second chicane. Unfortunately, car in front not going wide this time to help us close back in. We will just get past the McLaren before Indianapolis here. Catch this Ferrari at a bad point. Yeah, we are indeed. Okay, McLaren. Don't pull off the racing line just to come back on it. Ooh, that must be just within track limits. Gap opened up to 27 seconds now to car behind. Car in front missed the chicane. Has to let us back through. That was close. I mean, really, if you're rejoining, you should stay to the right there if someone's oncoming. But we're back into P2. Won't be for too long, I don't think. Starting to look at field remaining. We'll have one more lap here. Will get us 11 laps. If we think the race is only going to be 10, then we want to reduce that by 6. But that was just inside track limits. Halfway through points, and we're just coming up to the halfway point of the race. And we got quite a few of them on lap 1. So I'm not too worried. We were able to pass before Tete Rouge. The car behind wasn't. That means they're not going to be close enough to pass here. I'm just going to go with that, this to be safe. It's like, I don't think we really have a chance at P2 here. It's a stretch, that's for sure. So I'd rather be safe than sorry. Yeah, tires definitely don't need changing. to get the fry before Mulsanne corner. If they didn't, that would have been a nice little bit of time gain for us. Right, 2 more GT3s to go. Again, still quite spread out. But we do have to pit, so we will have to potentially be passing some on our out lap. Are we going to catch the Ford in time? It might be another move around the outside. But the car behind hasn't got through. It's going to have to try and move themselves at some point where they're just going to lose a lot of time. Seems like they've lost the time. Leading GT3 into the pits. A little quicker into the pits than we were in the practice. "47 seconds. Theoretically, the car behind could jump us if they did take one less lap of fuel. But we will see if that is the case. Yeah, I think they did go one less lap of fuel. I think the Mustang did as well. Oh well, no regrets. Massive gaps to the cars behind, so not under any pressure, don't need to take any risks. See, with what the top right is saying, that means I could go to a 22nd lap, which would mean you need 11 laps of fuel. I think that's what I'm hoping for, really, if I want P2. But that also involves us not being lapped. Which I couldn't tell you if that will be the case or not. little smidge wide of the apex, braking as late as I could. You could see the front right was slightly locking. The lock lights, the yellow ones on the steering wheel, were coming on as the car was sort of skipping across the bumps by the curb. Hypercars aren't too far behind us. They're coming towards Indianapolis now, but I believe they still have to pit. I want to say they still have to pit. If they don't, then we are definitely getting lapped. To stop hitting that red curb. Yeah, we're in front of the entire GT3 pack now. I think we'll catch some of the slower GT3s, but we won't catch the quicker ones. Since the first time that we caught them there was after the halfway mark of the race. See the leading hypercar 36 seconds behind us. If they have to pit still, they'll be pitting this lap, I would assume. If they've already pitted, then they've already pitted. curve is starting to get a little bit iffy. There's a fight for P1 in the hypercar class. So when the first hypercars catch up to us, there'll be a few of them all at once. Depending on when they catch us, that could get a little bit awkward. I want to say they'll catch us first sector, not next lap, but the lap after. I could be off on that though. It'll either be at the end of the next lap, or towards the end of the next lap, or the start of the lap after. Starting to catch up to GT3s again. It would be interesting if we catch the GT3s as the hypercars catch us. Ooh, the rear started to rotate there. Really on the limit of track limits there. And GT3's coming into the pits. I've got themselves penalty maybe? Because they were just on a night lap. Oh well. Catch this next GT3 on the straight. side of the apex there. Track is, or conditions, getting a lot darker here, not from the sun setting, but clouds rolling over the track, disrupting the sunshine. Track up at 42 degrees still. Maybe they'll come down with the cloud cover. That would be actually quite nice, I would say. Would certainly help the front left tire. Might allow the track to get a little bit quicker. Hopefully we'll catch this GT3 before Indianapolis, but it's going to be close. Hypercars look like they're going to catch us exit of Porsche curves, Ford chicane, going on to the next lap. No, we're not going to catch the GT3 in time. Locking all the way into Indianapolis is no good way to pass the GT3. But we'll definitely pass it before the Porsche curves. I'm not sure where that GT3 wanted to go. It was kind of straddling the white line that runs down the middle of the track, or the middle of the public road, of course. I was like, do you want to go left or right? I'm not sure. Don't understeer into the wall, that'd be a bit embarrassing. It's getting a little later in the day, coming up to 4 o'clock now. So the sun is actually disappearing. Here come the Hypercars. So I was kind of right with my initial prediction of early this lap. I didn't need to sort of bring it into the previous lap. That's a bad run through the chicane. Bit of slipstream here. P4 is a little bit back. Don't think they're going to catch us before the chicane here. But they'll easily get us with acceleration on the exit. Oh, Porsche in front out wide. That could allow the Fry up into P2. Fry's going for the move. Side by side down towards second chicane. Can't say who's in front. I think it's the Ferrari by a little bit with the inside as well. But the Porsche has got the move, the position back, braking on the outside. Don't make a mistake myself. That'd be a good idea. Looks like there's a good battle for P5 as well in the hypercar class, but they're 40 seconds back. So they'll be catching us in a few laps' time. And I think the Ferrari, I think the Ferrari has got the move done for P2 again. Hard to tell, we're a little too far back now. but just from what way the names are in the relative, I think that's what's happened, but I can't say for sure. Ooh, one of the cars was in the gravel. That's actually a GT3. Fuck me! Don't ever do that, please. Ooh, that's a snap. Sun is back out as it bites over the curb. About two and a bit more laps until the next pack of cars catch us. They'll maybe catch us on the Mulsan. Of course, those hypercars aren't as quick as the ones that have already passed us, so they'll not catch us as quickly. That's a bad run through Tetra Rouge. Still jumping over that curb a little too much. 3 laps to go? Maybe 4? Four laps to go? Don't turn it too soon and cut the corner. Track time hasn't come down at all. Still at 42. But Clyde has returned. That was a little bit dicey with the GT3s. You could tell the McLaren wasn't confident in sticking to its line, which was a bit annoying. It nearly pulled over to the left when I was wanting to pass it on the left. And did not like that throttle. And the like first left-hander, it kind of stayed away from the apex as if I was going to dive down the inside of it. Which is like, don't slow yourself up. Like that. Five minutes remaining. Lead Hypercars. Looks like they're going into Indianapolis. Oh, car behind's got a DT. Not that it has any effect on the race. Nice understeer. That's better over the curb. That was not comfortable running over that curb, but that's the line we kind of needed to take to pass the Mustang. Leaders into second chicane now overall. I don't know if that's close enough for them to do another lap or not. I do not know. And neither do the UI apps apparently. Line. I hate the way it hides your current lap time when you invalidate. So annoying. Here come the next Hypercars. First one's definitely gonna catch. I don't think the second one will. Yeah, second one's gonna be too far back. Luckily they didn't get held up anyway. I'm kind of disappointed none of the hypercars. Oh, we do have one more to pass us. Leaders have definitely crossed the line, so we'll see one more lap. Oh, a stop-go now for the car behind. That could affect things. But it looks like the car behind them dropped back a bit. Final lap then. That is not how you slow down for that chicane. Catching up to the last place LMP2 car that's still running. Put a second lap on them. Well, the hypercar behind us has lost time and is losing time. A bit annoying that they're not coming up on the relative, but they might not even... I don't think they are going to catch us at this rate. Despite us making that mistake. Yeah, they're now 14 seconds by. They're fuel saving. They're out of fuel. That's what it is. They're not making it to the end. Oh, is that a fight going on up ahead? There's two cars going side by side. LP2's go, let's go here. Hopefully we catch these two cars before Mulsanne corner. Because I want to pass them on a straight. I don't really want to pass them in the corner. What is that BMW doing? Well done, BMW. So then, a minute left of the race. It's been a fairly uneventful race. We had a bit of a battle in the middle for P2, but we weren't going to hold on to it ultimately. We didn't have the pace. We tried. It was ultimately a mistake from the car 9 P2, missing the second chicane, much like we did in qualifying, that allowed us to sort the battle to reignite. But unfortunately, we got the strategy wrong. We took one lap too much of fuel. And that meant that we lost the position. We'd never catch it back up. P3, not bad. We'll take that. But yeah, fairly uneventful race. Certainly not as interesting as Interlagos was. Also, that little bump of orange front bumper, that feels excessive. Oh, we finished in front of a hypercar. And all the DNFs. GG, thank you, thank you. Yeah, bit of an uneventful race. We'll go through the replay to see what happened. Oh, the guy that qualified P2's game crashed. Game. No. No music. No. I don't know why the game constantly turns the UI music back on. I turn it off like every other week and it's kind of pissing me off. Replace. So we'll wait for the replay to load. Taking a long while to load. Right, let us see. Start. Want to see what happened to, I think it's this corner right hand side. Let's bring up the standings. No, it's actually the car behind us. So through T1, can't go through the middle here on the outside of the Toyota. Inside here, and just in case there's any curb spun, as they're being a little bit more cautious. I'd like the car on our left to pass us. Actually, I want to see what on earth happens up here. Oh. BMW locks the rears and pit maneuvers the Porsche round. Little tap on the barriers, but nothing big. I was going to say that. The choice of rejoin there was looking a bit sketchy for a moment, but it wasn't too bad in the end. I actually could go on board with this driver. I can't remember where we got. Oh yeah, it was here. I made the mistake. Yeah, they lifted to not pass us. There comes that BMW that was misjudged its braking. Oh yeah, right. First of all, what happened to this Lambo? Oh, just lost the rear end, maybe with the curb a bit too. Luckily avoided the wall, but yeah, big spin. Then I think it was round by here that this driver made a mistake as well. Oh, this is where this driver went off. Did they do the same? They did the exact same thing. Kind of funny. Clip the front of the curb and span the car around. Rinse and repeat. Oh, they went for a second spin. So that's what happened to them. Then do they just lose it on the curb here? No. Oh. So into, let's go slow motion. Through T1, it's like you can't take it flat out, but it's very like iffy then on slowing the car for T1. Yeah, I'll tell you what's happened. They've transitioned onto the brakes at this point. Look at how much steering angle there is to the right-hand side. It's not a lot, but it's too much. The car is still loaded up, and when they hit the brakes, it puts the weight on the front tires. That takes the grip off the rears and puts it on the front tires, which are still slightly turning to the right. So the front tires grip up, continue to turn the car to the right. The rear tires lose grip, and the rear left is already loaded from being flat out through turn one. And so that loss of grip is just enough to be like, yeah, no, don't have the grip anymore for you. And yeah, just spins you off here. And, ugh. Yeah, collecting the right-hand side of the tire wall there is a bit ugly. So it is unfortunate for them. Something happened with this driver, didn't they? I think they lost it at the chicane. Also, I'm just looking at this space on my hard drive, counting down as I fast forward here. Yeah, just lost on the curb. Exact same thing they did in quali. So yeah. I kind of want to see something that happened towards the end of the race, I think. What was it? Oh, fight for P3? Yeah. Bit door touch there, but that's alright. What more with the BMW here? This is where I come. I lifted a little bit early. The BMW just coasted a little bit too long. Couldn't get the car slowed down. Oh, they just kind of get locked together, it looks like. You know, like, look how wide the BMW here is, you know. Like, it's got me right on the curb. So it kind of pushes it to the left, and then it intersects with the Ferrari here, and then they are turning left. So they are. But, like, not... They could be turning more left than that. That's not a lot. Both of them are going... this car's turning to the left into the BMW and is kind of pit maneuvering, yeah, so... It's just unfortunate circumstance that they've ended up like this, and they are then both at fault for making the wall, because both of them could have done more to avoid it, so it's like, yeah. Bit messy from them. I don't think there's anything else I want to look at, so we will close this down, and as we always do, we will switch on over to Art of Rally to end the stream off. We will run the daily event. We'll save the weekly event. We'll just run the daily. Switch on over. All right, daily event. Yesterday we got 43rd. Wasn't the greatest. Not as good as 34th. Better than 47th in fairness. Let's see what we can do tonight. Group 4 at Sardinia, 7.6 kilometer gravel stage. And we are running it at night. Alright, let us see then. This is a BMW M1 Pro car. Great line into this hairpin. Should have went down to second gear. I thought I did, but apparently not. There we go. 218.8. Not bad. 22nd, up 5%. That's good going. Happy with that. We'll take that indeed. Yeah, and that was good going. And that will do it for today's stream. Yeah, it was a bit of a boring race, to be honest. Le Mans, not one of my favorite circuits. It's definitely one of the more boring circuits. With how long the straights are. And yeah, unfortunately, the race can just prove to be boring as well. The long track means you're not like lapping traffic, certainly not as much as we were at Interlagos. And yeah, we just weren't in a fight really. It's like, okay, we didn't have a bit of that fight in the middle of the race, which if we didn't have that fight, my God, that race would have been so boring. Oh my God. Thankfully, we had something, but it wasn't much. It was kind of like, oh yeah, we're not as quick as this person. Like they will beat us by the end. You know. So yeah, not most interesting. And yeah, bit of a rail fish off as usual. A good run today, which I'm happy with. We'll be back tomorrow. I know I was meant to do WRC Career Series today. Pushed that back to tomorrow again. I think for the second week in a row. Yeah, because I was doing other thing. I ended up doing other things today that came up. So yeah, we'll do that tomorrow afternoon. We will then have a GT3 race in the evening. I've got to make a thumbnail for that. It'll be 65 minutes of Sebring in GT3. So we'll be running the Ford Mustang for this season. 8-race season, so a bit longer than what we have on Fridays. And then the next stream will be on Friday itself again. Friday, yes. What will we do on Friday? I'm trying to remember. Friday will be GT3s at back in the Mustang, and that will be at Fuji Classic for a 60-minute race. So hopefully 2 interesting races. Then next Saturday we have a GT1 race on the original Sao Corsa at Tres Riveras, a short street circuit. That'll be very interesting. GT1 cars. And that's a 2-hour race starting at about 6:30. And then on next Sunday we start a new Sunday series. So we're starting a new Monday series tomorrow. Next Sunday we start a new Sunday series. It will be a 100-minute series, 8 races, 8 weeks of 100-minute races. We'll be in the hypercar class alongside GT3, so something a little more traditional there. And we start at Portimao next week. So that's what we have coming up next week in terms of streams. And of course, we'll have another WRC in there as well. Maybe Richard Burns Rally, another one of those coming up soon. But we will have to see, have to double check the schedule for that ERC series. But yeah, again, thank you, Pre, thank you, Iris, for hanging around for chatting about. Thank you to anyone else who was lurking in the stream. Hopefully, I will see you tomorrow. If not, hopefully I'll see you next weekend. But yeah, until then, have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good week if I don't see you tomorrow. But yeah, until next time, again, thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Take care. Bye bye.